What I'm about to share with you is perhaps the most significant and groundbreaking discovery in the entire history of astronomy, and potentially in the whole of human civilization. Just a few days ago, on the 17th of November, at precisely 2 hours and 14 minutes Greenwich Mean Time, the James Webb Space Telescope successfully completed a highly anticipated, extensive 72-hour observation sequence of the astronomical object known as 3IATLAS. Using its advanced near-infrared spectrograph and mid-infrared instrument, the data from this observation run was immediately sent for analysis by teams of scientists at NASA Goddard, the Space Telescope Science Institute, and independent researchers from 7 prestigious universities. After several intense days of examination, the data revealed something so astonishing, so mind-bending, and so profoundly reality-altering that I've spent the last 48 hours in emergency consultations with fellow experts, desperately searching for any alternative explanation that might contradict the conclusions we are now drawing. Unfortunately, I have not been able to find one. Neither have my colleagues. What we are seeing within this data is beyond any natural, geological, chemical, or physical explanation. The spectroscopic signatures, the thermal patterns, the chemical markers, and the extraordinarily organized complexity we're detecting inside 3IATLAS suggest something altogether extraordinary, something that cannot be explained by any known laws of physics. What we're witnessing points unmistakably to biological activity. Not primitive microbial life, mind you, not just some rudimentary form of organic chemistry. What we're detecting is far more intricate, indicating organized complexity suggestive of a metabolic system, information processing, and a capacity to respond to environmental stimuli in a coordinated manner. In simple terms, we are seeing what appears to be life inside 3IATLAS. And it is contained within an object that is presently situated at just under 0.89 astronomical units from Earth and is steadily closing in at a speed that will bring it within lunar orbit in a mere 47 days.
The NIRCam imaging system, in addition, provided high-resolution visual data across multiple wavelength bands. What makes the James Webb Space Telescope so uniquely equipped for this type of observation is its remarkable sensitivity and spectral resolution. We're not merely detecting that certain molecules are present. Instead, we're measuring their exact abundance, spatial distribution, temperature, chemical states, and how these properties evolve over time. The telescope observed 3IATLAS continuously for 72 hours, gathering spectroscopic data every 20 minutes. This gave us a total of 216 complete data sets that track how the chemical and thermal signatures of the object evolve and change. The first anomaly appeared right from the very beginning of the initial data analysis. The spectroscopic signatures revealed absorption and emission lines that indicated the presence of complex organic molecules. These were not simple organics like methane or carbon dioxide, but much more sophisticated compounds, molecules with carbon chains containing between 20 to 40 atoms, cyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, nitrogen-containing heterocycles, phosphorus compounds, and sulfur compounds. These are precisely the kinds of chemical building blocks that are the hallmark of biochemistry. On Earth, such molecules are almost exclusively produced by biological processes. While it's not entirely unprecedented to find organic molecules in space, meteorites, comets, and the atmospheres of moons like Titan have all shown similar signs. The molecules detected on 3IATLAS are markedly different in several key ways. First, the abundance ratios of these molecules don't align with what we typically see in non-biological organic chemistry. The relative concentrations of various molecular species follow patterns that are only seen in biological systems on Earth, where metabolism regulates chemical pathways to maintain specific ratios. In other words, the chemistry within 3IATLAS is consistent with biological processes that ensure certain elements are present in specific quantities to maintain homeostasis. Second, the molecular complexity is far too high to be accounted for by non-biological formation. Organic molecules in space typically form through radiation-driven chemistry that acts on simple precursors over millions of years. This process usually results in a distribution of molecules where the majority are simple and only a few are more complex. But what we are seeing on 3IATLAS is an unusually high concentration of very complex molecules without the expected abundance of simpler precursors. This suggests that these molecules were synthesized through directed chemical processes rather than the result of random accumulation. Third, and perhaps most disturbingly, we're detecting molecular chirality. Many organic molecules can exist in two mirror image forms, like left hands and right hands.
In non-biological chemistry, you typically get equal amounts of both forms because there's no reason for nature to favor one over the other. But biological systems almost universally select one form over the other. For example, all amino acids on Earth are left-handed, and sugars and DNA are right-handed. This specific selection of molecular form, known as homochirality, is a hallmark of life. The spectroscopic data from 3IATLAS shows that approximately 85% of the detected organic molecules are in one chiral form, while only 15% are in the opposite form. This degree of enantiomeric excess doesn't occur naturally in non-biological systems. It requires selective synthesis, a molecular assembly process that preferentially produces one form while suppressing the other. Dr. Jennifer Chen, a leading expert in astrobiology and prebiotic chemistry at Caltech, has been analyzing the spectroscopic data closely. Her assessment is definitive. The molecular signatures we're detecting from 3IATLAS are consistent with active biochemistry, not prebiotic chemistry, not just organic molecules formed by radiation and simple chemical reactions, but molecules that indicate metabolism, information storage, and possibly even cellular structures. This is a clear indicator of life. But the molecular evidence is only the beginning. The thermal data from the MIRI instrument provides further compelling evidence. You see, 3IATLAS has been maintaining an anomalous surface temperature ever since it passed perihelion, showing localized hotspots that pulse with regular periodicity. The James Webb observations offer a much higher thermal resolution than previous infrared observations, allowing us to map the thermal distribution across the visible surface of 3IATLAS with an astonishing level of precision, down to about 15 meters. What this detailed mapping reveals is something that suggests organization. These thermal hotspots are not randomly distributed. Instead, they form distinct interconnected networks that span the entire visible surface of the object. In total, there are 183 thermal anomalies with temperatures ranging from 295 to 318 Kelvin. These hotspots are connected by linear features that show an elevated temperature around 3 to 5 degrees Celsius higher than the surrounding surface. This pattern bears a striking resemblance to what we would see in infrared imaging of biological organisms or human-made cities, where heat is distributed through networks like blood vessels or power grids. The temporal analysis of these thermal patterns provides even more intriguing insights. By tracking the behavior of these hotspots over the 72-hour observation period, we were able to identify distinct rhythms and correlations in their behavior.
Some hotspots pulse independently, each with its own unique periodicity, while others pulse in synchronization, brightening and dimming together, despite being hundreds of meters apart. Furthermore, certain hotspots show correlated behavior. One hotspot's temperature increase is followed by an increase in neighboring hotspots about 15 to 20 minutes later. This suggests coordinated activity, possibly signaling the transmission of information or responses to environmental stimuli. Dr. Robert Martinez, a specialist in complex systems at MIT, applied network theory to the thermal data, treating each hotspot as a node and analyzing statistical correlations in their temporal behavior. What he found was nothing short of extraordinary, a network structure that resembled the small world topology seen in neural networks, social networks, and ecosystems. The hotspots are not functioning independently. They are clearly communicating and exchanging information, suggesting the presence of centralized control or distributed intelligence. This indicates a level of coordination that hints at a purposeful organization behind the activity. To further reinforce these findings, the chemical composition analysis of 3IATLAS adds yet another layer of unsettling evidence. By examining the spectroscopic absorption lines in extreme detail, we can determine not just which molecules are present, but also measure their isotopic ratios. Isotopes are variants of elements with different numbers of neutrons, and biological systems on Earth have distinct isotopic signatures because enzymatic reactions tend to favor the lighter isotopes over the heavier ones. The isotopic analysis from 3IATLAS shows precisely the type of biological fractionation that we would expect from life processes. The carbon isotope ratio indicates an enrichment in carbon-12 by about 30 parts per thousand compared to what we'd expect from non-biological sources. Similarly, the nitrogen isotope ratio shows enrichment in nitrogen-14, and the sulfur isotopes show depletion in sulfur-34. These are unmistakable signs of biological processing. Dr. Sarah Hammond, a leading expert in stable isotope geochemistry at Oxford University, has extensively reviewed the isotopic data, and her conclusion is clear. The isotopic signatures from 3IATLAS are indistinguishable from those produced by biological fractionation. If I encountered these same patterns in a rock sample from Earth, I would immediately conclude that biological processes had influenced the chemistry. The magnitude and direction of the isotopic shifts are exactly what we would expect from metabolism. Finding these signatures in an interstellar object is both unprecedented and, frankly, beyond the capabilities of any known natural processes to explain. Now, let's discuss what might be the most direct and unsettling evidence we've gathered, evidence that has left us all stunned.
Hidden within the spectroscopic data, tucked away in the noise yet clearly present when examined closely, are absorption features that don't correspond to any known minerals or simple molecules. 17 distinct absorption lines in the near-infrared spectrum remain unidentified, even after exhaustive comparisons with every molecular database available. These mystery lines are faint, but clearly present above the noise threshold, appearing consistently across multiple observation epochs. When molecules absorb light, they produce spectral fingerprints that reflect their structural composition. Each molecule has a unique pattern. By comparing the absorption lines we observe with laboratory measurements of known molecules, we can typically identify what we're seeing. But these 17 lines don't match anything known to us. This means we're observing molecules that have never been synthesized in laboratories, never been observed in nature on Earth, and never been cataloged before. Dr. Patricia Williams, a molecular spectroscopy expert at the University of Hawaii, has been leading the effort to identify these unknown lines. She's explored various possibilities: complex molecules that form under extreme conditions, transition metal compounds, polyatomic radicals, and more. But nothing fits. Her assessment is sobering. We are either observing chemistry operating under conditions so unique that it is producing molecules we've never encountered, or we are witnessing molecules designed and synthesized by processes that do not exist in nature.
Given all the other evidence, I'm inclined to think we might be detecting the chemical signatures of alien biochemistry, molecules that evolution on another world has produced for biological functions we cannot even begin to understand because they have evolved under conditions far removed from anything we know. This suggestion is, of course, extraordinary. To think that we might be detecting molecules created by alien life forms, life that has evolved in entirely different environmental conditions, is both mind-boggling and awe-inspiring. But given the overwhelming evidence, we must entertain the possibility. This is not a claim I make lightly, but the data we have is compelling enough that ignoring it would be intellectually dishonest. Further analysis of the spatial distribution of these chemical signatures adds yet another layer to the mystery. By examining where the various chemical markers appear on 3IATLAS, we can map the composition of the object's surface. What we found is that the complex organic molecules are not evenly distributed. They are concentrated in specific regions that align with the locations of surface apertures we've been tracking. These concentrations are typically in circular zones, approximately 50 to 80 meters in diameter, centered around these mysterious openings.
The isotopic fractionation is strongest in these same regions, and the thermal hotspots are concentrated there as well. The unidentified molecular signatures are most pronounced in these areas. Everything seems to be converging on these apertures, suggesting that they are not just random holes in the surface, but active sites where something is happening. Material appears to be processed there. Energy seems to be consumed. Complex chemical reactions are taking place. These areas may be functioning as pores, vents, or even organs. We don't yet have the right term for them, but they are clearly essential elements of whatever system is operating inside 3IATLAS. And now, let me discuss the most unsettling finding of all. The one that has kept me awake for 2 straight nights, desperately searching for any alternative explanations. Deep within the spectroscopic data, buried beneath the noise but clearly present if you know what to look for, is evidence of phosphorescence. Certain regions of 3IATLAS are emitting light at specific wavelengths that don't match thermal radiation or reflected sunlight. This emission is coming from molecules being excited to higher energy states and then releasing that energy as light when they return to their resting state. Phosphorescence requires an energy source to excite the molecules initially. In the deep space environment around 3IATLAS, the possibilities are few: radioactive decay, chemical reactions releasing energy, or biological processes like bioluminescence. The spectral signatures of the phosphorescent emission match those of bioluminescence, the same phenomenon that makes fireflies glow. The light is faint, barely detectable even with the extraordinary sensitivity of the James Webb Telescope, but it is real, and it's coming from multiple locations across 3IATLAS. Dr. Amanda Foster, a bioluminescence expert at UC Berkeley, has examined the spectral data closely. Her reaction was one of shock. "This looks like bioluminescence," she said. "The wavelength distribution, intensity ratios, and temporal variability, it all matches biological light production." If she were shown this spectrum without knowing the context, she would immediately say it came from a bioluminescent organism. To find this signature on an interstellar object is terrifying because it implies not just life, but complex life, life advanced enough to have evolved biochemical pathways for producing light. The implications of all of this are profound. We are seeing something that doesn't fit into any category we have for natural processes. We're looking at an object that appears to be alive, or at least home to complex, organized life. And it's coming closer. Whether it's alive, a container for life, or something entirely different, we don't know yet,
but we are being confronted with the fact that we are not alone in the universe. The next critical question we must face is the trajectory of 3IATLAS.
Since November 2nd, when 3IATLAS completed its orbital modifications during perihelion, it has been moving through the inner solar system, and its path is now one of significant concern. The object's trajectory is no longer one of hyperbolic escape from the solar system, but an elliptical orbit that keeps it gravitationally bound to the Sun, with an orbital period of around 2.7 years. More troubling than its orbital period, however, is its current trajectory vector. 3IATLAS is moving inward, closer to the Sun, and its path will bring it dangerously close to Earth. Dr. Lisa Martinez, a space scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, has been tracking the orbital evolution of 3IATLAS with great precision. Her calculations show that in just 647 days, or approximately 1 year and 9 months from now, 3IATLAS will pass within 0.8 astronomical units of Earth. That's roughly 30 times the distance to the Moon, close by astronomical standards, and well within what we consider near-Earth space. At closest approach, the velocity of 3IATLAS will be around 22 kilometers per second relative to Earth. While that's slow by interstellar standards, it still represents a tremendous amount of kinetic energy for an object that is estimated to have a mass of 33 billion tons. A collision with 3IATLAS, though extremely unlikely, would release energy equivalent to hundreds of nuclear bombs. However, the real danger is not the probability of impact, but the possibility of intentionality. 3IATLAS appears to have modified its trajectory to remain within our solar system. It is now approaching Earth with a clear, unobstructed view of our planet. If there is intelligence operating inside or on board 3IATLAS, it could be choosing to come here, to observe us closely, or perhaps even interact with us. The question of intention is now critical. Why would an alien life form travel all the way to our solar system? Why approach Earth? What do they want? The question of what motivates an alien civilization is something we cannot yet answer with science. We have no precedents for this, no understanding of the behavior or objectives of alien intelligence. But I can offer some speculative possibilities, ranging from benign to catastrophic. One possibility is scientific curiosity. Perhaps 3IATLAS is a probe or vessel sent by an advanced civilization to explore other star systems and search for life. They may have detected biosignatures in Earth's atmosphere, oxygen, methane, and water vapor, in ratios that suggest biological activity, and have come to investigate, possibly even make contact. This interpretation, though optimistic, suggests that the approach of 3IATLAS might represent the greatest opportunity in human history, first contact with an intelligent alien civilization.
This encounter could lead to a wealth of knowledge, scientific insights, technological advancements, and new perspectives that could transform humanity's understanding of the universe and our place within it. However, the neutral interpretation suggests indifference. Perhaps 3IATLAS is merely passing through our system on its way to another destination, with Earth simply being a random point on its path. In this case, whatever life exists inside 3IATLAS might view us as insignificant, studying us as we would briefly observe bacteria in a pond before moving on. The pessimistic interpretation is the most troubling. It's possible that 3IATLAS represents scouts from a civilization seeking new resources, new worlds to colonize, or other forms of expansion. Earth might be an attractive target for such a civilization. We have abundant water, a moderate climate, and a diverse ecosystem, and we're still relatively primitive in terms of our technological defenses. If this interpretation is true, the approach of 3IATLAS could be the precursor to an attempted colonization or resource extraction. There are, of course, other possibilities. Perhaps 3IATLAS is not a vehicle, but a collective organism or a distributed intelligence. If it is, communication with such a life form may be impossible, or the process of communication could take forms we don't yet understand. How do we communicate with a collective organism or a swarm of minds working together toward a common goal? This is a question that no human civilization has ever had to face, but we may soon have to. Whatever the intentions behind 3IATLAS's approach, humanity must be prepared for whatever comes next. Governments, space agencies, and scientific institutions must prioritize observation and data collection. Every telescope, sensor, and instrument capable of studying 3IATLAS must be employed. We need continuous monitoring to detect any changes in behavior, trajectory, emissions, or signals from the object. Every detail must be documented, analyzed, and understood. In addition to this, we must be prepared for the possibility of communication. If we decide to transmit a message to 3IATLAS, we need to craft it carefully. We must present ourselves as an intelligent species, capable of peaceful interaction, but without revealing critical vulnerabilities. At the same time, we must be cautious, as revealing too much about our military capabilities or technological weaknesses could be disastrous. We also need to develop contingency plans for various potential scenarios. What if 3IATLAS establishes orbit around Earth? What if it lands, transmits messages, or releases smaller objects? What if it shows signs of hostility? We must have coordinated international plans in place to address these scenarios because the consequences of this situation will affect all of humanity, not just one nation. Above all, we need to prepare the public.
This discovery is too significant to be kept hidden. People have a right to know that alien life has been detected and that it's approaching Earth. While we shouldn't cause unnecessary panic, we must foster awareness and preparedness. We must provide clear, honest information about what is happening and communicate the possibilities without fostering unwarranted fear or false hope. The scientific community is already advocating for transparency, and the data gathered by the James Webb Space Telescope will soon be published in the Astrophysical Journal for peer review and independent verification. This is a monumental moment in human history, and it must be treated as such. What we are witnessing is truly a turning point in human history. For millennia, humanity has looked up at the stars and wondered, are we alone? Are there other civilizations, other forms of life out there in the vast expanse of space? Now, we have the answer. Something is out there, and it's coming toward us. In just 47 days, 3IATLAS will approach Earth close enough that we may witness first-hand interactions with whatever is inside it. Whether that interaction comes in the form of communication, a closer observation of the object's structure, or perhaps even direct contact remains uncertain. But we are on the brink of the most significant event in human history, a potential first contact with alien life. We are living in the moment that will define our species' place in the cosmos. But this moment is also fraught with peril. We have no way of knowing what the life inside 3IATLAS is truly like. It might be a form of life so alien to us that we cannot comprehend its biology, its intelligence, or its intentions. If it is a form of complex life that has developed on a world with vastly different conditions from Earth, it could possess technologies, capabilities, or understandings of the universe that are completely outside of our frame of reference. It might not even think like we do, making it difficult, if not impossible, for us to predict how it will behave or how we should respond. In this moment of unprecedented discovery, we must proceed with both caution and hope. Caution, because we don't know what we're dealing with yet, and hope, because this could be the greatest opportunity humanity has ever faced, the chance to learn from, or even communicate with an entirely different civilization. But even as we prepare to face this unknown, we must acknowledge that our very existence could be affected by whatever happens next. The trajectory of 3IATLAS suggests that its arrival is not just a random occurrence. It appears to be a deliberate path, one that brings it closer to Earth for a reason. And that reason, whether it's to observe, to make contact, or to test us in some way, remains shrouded in mystery. What makes this situation even more unsettling is the reality that we have no control over it.
Whatever happens, we will be spectators in this cosmic drama, with little power to influence the course of events. In light of these uncertainties, the question of how we respond becomes critically important. Should we attempt to communicate with 3IATLAS before it reaches Earth? If so, what message should we send? Do we reveal our intentions, our culture, our history, and our aspirations? Or do we remain silent, guarding our information until we understand more about what we are dealing with? Both options come with risks, but the choice we make could shape the future of humanity. One thing is clear, however. We are no longer alone in the universe. The evidence from the James Webb Space Telescope leaves no room for doubt. Life, complex life, exists beyond Earth. Whether that life is intelligent, hostile, or benign is still unknown, but we must prepare for the possibility that we will soon have to face it. The next 47 days will be crucial. We must continue to observe and monitor 3IATLAS with every available instrument. We need to learn everything we can about its behavior, its composition, its emissions, and most importantly, its intentions. The time for speculation is over. The time for action is upon us. In the coming weeks, space agencies, governments, and scientists will have to work together to develop a unified response. Whether we seek contact, study the object in silence, or prepare for more direct interaction, we must coordinate our efforts to ensure the safety and well-being of humanity. And we must prepare the public for the reality that we are not alone in the universe. The James Webb Space Telescope has given us the most extraordinary gift, a discovery that will forever change our understanding of life, the universe, and our place in it. Now, we must decide how to use that knowledge. How we respond in the next few days will determine whether this discovery marks the beginning of an incredible new chapter for humanity, or a turning point that leads us down a much darker path. The implications of this discovery are so vast that they defy easy understanding. We are standing on the precipice of a new era, one in which humanity might become part of a larger cosmic community, one where the boundaries of our existence are no longer defined by the limits of our own planet. As we watch the skies, as we prepare for the arrival of 3IATLAS, we must remember that we are witnessing the most significant moment in human history. This is our opportunity to show the universe what humanity is made of. Whether we are ready for what lies ahead is a question only time will answer. But in the end, what happens in the next 47 days will not just shape our future, it will redefine what it means to be human in a universe that is far more mysterious and vast than we ever imagined. As we prepare for the imminent arrival of 3IATLAS, we are faced with a profound and complex challenge.
The discovery that something, alive or not, exists within this celestial body raises questions that go beyond the boundaries of science and touch on the very core of human identity. We are no longer just explorers of space. We are now participants in a cosmic reality that includes other life forms, potentially far more advanced and diverse than we ever imagined. The next few weeks will not only test our scientific ingenuity, but also our capacity for unity. This unprecedented event is bigger than any single country, any single group of scientists, or any one organization. This is a global issue that requires collaboration on a scale humanity has never seen before. If 3IATLAS represents a form of life or intelligence, our response must be one that transcends borders, ideologies, and even language. The possibility of first contact demands the universal approach, one where all nations stand together to explore, understand, and, if necessary, respond appropriately to what is coming toward us. As we look toward the sky, we must not only ask ourselves how we will respond to these new discoveries, but also reflect on what it means for humanity's future. The implications of first contact are not confined to just the scientific community. The world will be watching, and the way we handle this moment will shape our future trajectory. Will we embrace the unknown with courage and humility, or will fear and uncertainty dictate our actions? Will we find common ground as a species, or will division and panic take hold? Beyond the immediate scientific observations, there are broader philosophical and existential questions that must be addressed. If we are not alone in the universe, if life exists elsewhere, it forces us to reevaluate our place in the cosmos. It challenges the very assumptions that have guided our existence, from our understanding of biology and evolution to our thoughts on the nature of intelligence, consciousness, and civilization. At the heart of these questions is the issue of connection. If life exists elsewhere, and if that life is aware of us, how do we connect? How do we communicate? The technologies that have allowed us to look deeper into space, to peer at distant worlds and study their chemical makeup, are the same tools that might allow us to bridge the gap between our world and theirs. But communication, even in the most optimistic scenario, may not be simple. The life within 3IATLAS, if it is indeed alive, may not have the same means of communication, the same understanding of the universe, or even the same biological structures as we do. It is possible that the gap between us and whatever is inside 3IATLAS is so vast that our minds cannot even comprehend its form of intelligence or way of perceiving reality. This uncertainty only deepens the mystery.
If the life within 3IATLAS is sophisticated enough to travel across interstellar distances and modify its trajectory to enter our solar system, it would possess a technology far beyond our own. But the crucial question remains, why? Why would such a being or collective intelligence come here? Is it simply curiosity, or is there something more at play? Are they studying us as we have studied microbial life on Earth? Or, perhaps more troubling, are they preparing for something we cannot yet anticipate? We also must ask what the consequences are for our planet and our civilization. If 3IATLAS is indeed home to life, whether microbial or more complex, the object itself could serve as a vessel, carrying with it the seeds of a new form of existence. What happens when two life forms from entirely different worlds come into contact? Can we coexist, learn from each other, or will the differences between us be insurmountable? While speculation about alien intentions is, at this point, just that, speculation, it's important to acknowledge the weight of this moment. Humanity stands at a threshold, one that could lead us to discover new dimensions of knowledge, technology, and understanding. Alternatively, it could also lead to an encounter fraught with dangers we cannot foresee. Whether the coming months result in an era of collaboration or conflict, one thing is certain: humanity will never look at the stars in the same way again. There is one more crucial aspect to consider: our collective responsibility. How we approach this moment is not just a matter of scientific curiosity or government policy. It is a moral question. How do we protect the values that define us as human beings while navigating an entirely new chapter of cosmic history? How do we balance our instinct for exploration with our duty to safeguard the planet, its people, and its future? To respond to 3IATLAS and whatever it carries within it requires a new kind of leadership. It calls for leaders who can make decisions not just in the best interest of their countries, but in the best interest of all humankind. It requires scientists, diplomats, and thinkers to unite in the face of the unknown and to address the questions that no one has yet been able to answer. It calls for transparency and honesty, even as we grapple with the enormity of what we are facing. The people of Earth deserve to know the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. In closing, this is a moment of unparalleled significance. The next 47 days will be a time of heightened awareness, preparation, and careful observation. The James Webb Space Telescope has given us a glimpse into a reality that stretches far beyond our understanding. It has shown us that life, as we know it, might not be confined to Earth. And in that discovery, we face not just an astronomical milestone, but the potential for an entirely new chapter in the story of humanity.
As we watch the skies and await the final approach of 3IATLAS, we must remember that we are not alone. What happens next could change the course of history, and it is up to all of us, scientists, governments, and individuals, to be ready for whatever comes. As we approach the moment when 3IATLAS makes its closest approach to Earth, we must begin to consider the broader implications of this unprecedented discovery. While the scientific community has been focused on analyzing the data and formulating hypotheses about the biological and chemical signatures found, we cannot ignore the profound societal impact this will have. The world is facing a future where humanity is no longer isolated in the vast expanse of the cosmos. The realization that another form of life, whether intelligent or not, exists beyond our planet will forever change how we view ourselves, our planet, and our place in the universe. This change is not merely scientific, it will be cultural, philosophical, and psychological. Throughout history, humanity has pondered the existence of extraterrestrial life, often through the lens of mythology, religion, and science fiction. Yet we have always remained confined to the question. Now, we are no longer asking, are we alone? The question has shifted to, what do we do now that we know we are not alone? There will undoubtedly be a spectrum of reactions to this discovery. Some may see it as a moment of great hope, a sign that the universe is full of life, that we are part of a larger cosmic community. Others may react with fear, uncertain of the intentions of these alien life forms, or concerned about the potential dangers they could pose. It is critical in these uncertain times that we approach this discovery with a calm and measured response. Panic and fear will serve no purpose, but understanding and preparation will. The next steps will require the global community to come together. Just as we collaborate on Earth to address challenges like climate change, pandemics, and geopolitical conflicts, we must now unite to address the questions that 3IATLAS raises. International space agencies, governments, scientists, and experts from all fields must work together to ensure a unified response to whatever may unfold in the coming weeks and months. The collaboration will not just be scientific, it will be human. The decisions we make today will determine how humanity interacts with this discovery for generations to come. One of the most pressing issues we will face is the question of communication. If the life within 3IATLAS is indeed capable of communication, what form will it take? Will it be based on technologies or concepts that are entirely foreign to us? Or will we find some common ground,
some shared medium through which we can understand each other.
As much as we might hope for a peaceful encounter, we must also prepare for the possibility that the life forms inside 3IATLAS may have no interest in communication at all. They may be indifferent to us, focused entirely on their own needs, or perhaps on their survival. In preparing for this possibility, it is essential that we consider the implications of contact. How will we protect our own security while ensuring that we do not isolate ourselves from potential opportunities for collaboration? If 3IATLAS does indeed contain intelligent life, it could offer us incredible scientific advancements, insights into new technologies, new biological processes, and new perspectives on the universe. But we must also consider the risks of exposure. Could revealing our existence to an alien intelligence put us in danger? The questions are vast, and the answers are unclear. But one thing is certain. We cannot simply ignore the risks and hope they will not materialize. We must be prepared for every possible outcome. This is where the wisdom of history can guide us. Throughout human history, we have faced the unknown, whether it was navigating uncharted seas, encountering new cultures, or exploring new frontiers in science and technology. In each case, we have learned and adapted, building a future based on knowledge and cooperation. Now, the ultimate frontier lies before us, the cosmos. And while we may not have all the answers, we must approach this challenge with the same spirit of curiosity and resilience that has always defined us. As we move forward, we must remember that humanity is not just a collection of nations, cultures, or individuals. We are one species, living on one planet, facing one future. The discovery of life beyond Earth is not a challenge for one country, one government, or one organization. It is a challenge for all of humanity. And it is a challenge that we must face together. In the coming days and weeks, as 3IATLAS continues its approach, we must continue to monitor its progress, gather more data, and prepare for every eventuality. We must also be ready to make the necessary decisions, whether to attempt communication, study the object more closely, or take other actions to ensure the safety and security of our world. The possibilities are vast, and the stakes are incredibly high. One thing is certain, however. No matter what happens, the world will never be the same. Humanity has crossed a threshold, and what lies ahead is unknown. But we can face the future with confidence, knowing that we are capable of adapting, learning, and growing in the face of the most profound discoveries the universe has to offer. As we stand on the precipice of this new era, we must look toward the stars with both awe and caution. The universe is vast and full of mysteries, and 3IATLAS is only the beginning. What we do next will shape the future of humanity, our survival, our growth, and our place in the cosmic community.
Let us rise to the occasion and ensure that whatever happens next, humanity is ready to face the challenge with courage, wisdom, and unity. As we prepare for the unknown, there are some essential truths we must accept. The arrival of 3IATLAS is not just an event of scientific interest. It is a defining moment for humanity. It is a moment that will test our collective will, our ability to collaborate across borders, and our capacity to handle the unimaginable. We are on the cusp of a discovery that could reshape every facet of our lives, from our understanding of life itself to our place in the universe. However, as we stand at this threshold, we must also confront the limitations of our knowledge.
Despite the wealth of data gathered by the James Webb Space Telescope, there is still so much that we do not know. The biological signatures we've detected within 3IATLAS are unlike anything we've ever encountered, and the complexity of the object itself is beyond anything we could have anticipated. This is an alien reality, one that does not fit neatly into the frameworks of science and technology we've developed. And it is this very complexity that requires us to approach the situation with both caution and humility. The idea that we might be dealing with a form of life so alien to our own is both exhilarating and terrifying. What if the life inside 3IATLAS doesn't operate according to the rules of biology that we understand? What if it doesn't share our need for food, water, or oxygen? What if its perception of the world, its understanding of existence, is so radically different that we cannot even begin to fathom it? These are questions that we must grapple with as we move forward. They challenge our assumptions about life, about intelligence, and about the nature of existence itself. As much as we hope for peaceful contact, we must also be prepared for the possibility that this encounter could lead to conflict. The universe is a vast and unpredictable place, and we cannot assume that every form of life we encounter will have peaceful intentions. Just as we, as a species, have at times fought for resources and dominance, it is possible that other life forms might do the same. While the probability of hostile intent is low, it is a scenario we cannot afford to dismiss. The reality is that we know very little about the nature of the beings that might inhabit 3IATLAS or their motivations for approaching our planet. In light of these uncertainties, we must be ready for all possibilities. Our preparations should include not just scientific observation, but strategic planning for communication, defense, and diplomacy. These preparations must be made by a united front with the full cooperation of space agencies, military organizations, and international bodies. The magnitude of this discovery demands that we set aside our differences and focus on what is best for humanity as a whole.
Yet, even as we prepare for the worst, we must not forget the potential for collaboration and mutual benefit. If 3IATLAS does contain life, it is possible that the beings inside it have evolved along a path that we can learn from. If they have developed the ability to travel across interstellar distances, they may possess knowledge and technologies that could revolutionize our understanding of physics, energy, and even biology. This could be a golden opportunity for humanity, an opportunity to learn from a civilization that has solved the problems we are still struggling with. But we must be prepared to approach them with the humility and respect they deserve. If they are indeed more advanced than us, our first contact will require the utmost care, understanding, and patience. The next steps are clear. We must continue to observe, analyze, and prepare. Every new piece of data will bring us closer to understanding what 3IATLAS is and what it represents, but we must also remain vigilant, knowing that the situation could evolve rapidly and unexpectedly. We have only 47 days before the object reaches its closest point to Earth, and in that time, the decisions we make could have far-reaching consequences. As we prepare for the arrival of 3IATLAS, we must also consider the broader implications of this discovery. If this is indeed first contact, then the entire framework of human history will need to be re-examined. Our place in the universe will never be the same. And with this new understanding, we must ask ourselves, what kind of future do we want to build? How do we want to respond to the reality that we are not alone, and that the universe is far more complex and diverse than we ever imagined? The decisions we make in the coming weeks will shape the course of human history. We have a responsibility not just to ourselves, but to future generations to ensure that we approach this moment with wisdom, integrity, and foresight. The opportunity to interact with another form of life,
whether in a peaceful exchange or as a test of our own survival, will define the legacy we leave behind. Let us approach these next few weeks with courage and optimism. Let us seize this moment not just as an unprecedented challenge, but as an opportunity to step into the broader universe. The discovery of life beyond Earth is the ultimate reminder of the vastness of the cosmos and of the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. Whatever happens, we must face it together as one species, united in our quest for knowledge and our commitment to the survival and flourishing of humanity. The universe has shown us something extraordinary. Now it is our turn to show the universe who we are. As we look ahead, we are confronted with the monumental responsibility that comes with this discovery.
The knowledge that we are not alone in the universe is both a gift and a challenge, one that will shape the trajectory of human civilization for generations to come. The reality of extraterrestrial life, particularly if it is more complex and technologically advanced than our own, demands that we reevaluate our assumptions about the cosmos, our place within it, and the future of our species. The first and most pressing question we must address is how to communicate with these life forms should we find that they are capable of communication. Communication, in any form, will be fraught with challenges. Language is a barrier, not just in terms of words, but in the very nature of understanding. Can we expect to be able to comprehend each other's concepts of space, time, or consciousness? Will our methods of communication, based on symbols, sounds, or signals, be understood by beings whose modes of perception may be entirely different from ours? The implications of communication, if it comes to pass, are far-reaching. It will require the greatest minds from around the world, scientists, linguists, philosophers, and diplomats to work together, creating a framework through which we can attempt to bridge the gap between two civilizations. It is possible that the beings inside 3IATLAS have developed ways of perceiving the universe that are beyond our current scientific understanding. They may have knowledge of physics, biology, and even energy systems that we have yet to discover. If they are capable of transmitting their knowledge to us, it could represent a leap forward for humanity, a leap that could propel us into an entirely new era of scientific and technological advancement. But the potential for communication also comes with a great deal of caution. If the beings inside 3IATLAS are truly alien to us, and if they possess capabilities far beyond our own, how will they perceive us? Will they see us as worthy of contact? Or will they view us as an insignificant species, not yet evolved enough to be a meaningful part of the interstellar community? And if their intentions are not peaceful, what then? Could we be facing an encounter with a civilization that sees us as an obstacle, an opportunity, or perhaps even a threat to their own survival? These are questions we cannot yet answer, but they are questions we must begin to contemplate. If first contact occurs, it will not be a moment that happens in isolation. It will be a turning point that challenges our very notion of what it means to be human. We will be faced with decisions that require the utmost wisdom, compassion, and foresight. Our response to 3IATLAS and whatever's inside it will define not only our future, but also the future of life on Earth, and possibly the future of interstellar relations. In the meantime, we must continue to gather information and prepare for the inevitable consequences of this discovery.
The scientific community must remain vigilant, analyzing every piece of data that comes from 3IATLAS as it approaches Earth. We must map its trajectory, study its emissions, and continue to observe its behavior. Every new observation could bring us closer to understanding the nature of this object, its contents, and its potential for interaction. At the same time, governments and international organizations must prepare for the possibility of direct contact. This is no longer a theoretical discussion or a matter for scientific speculation. This is a real, tangible event that is unfolding before our eyes. How we respond in the coming days will shape not only our survival, but also our future as a species. We must be ready to engage with this unprecedented challenge in a way that reflects our highest ideals, our commitment to peace, cooperation, and the survival of our planet. One thing is clear: the discovery of life beyond Earth is a transformative event. It is an event that challenges everything we thought we knew about the universe and our place in it. We are no longer just observers of the stars. We are participants in a much larger cosmic story. The universe is full of possibilities, many of which we are only beginning to understand. In the coming weeks, we will likely find ourselves grappling with questions that have no easy answers. But through it all, we must remember that we are human. And as humans, we have the capacity to face the unknown with courage and wisdom. We have the ability to adapt, to learn, and to grow in the face of unprecedented challenges. This is our defining moment as a species, and how we respond will determine the legacy we leave for future generations. Whatever happens, this is a moment that will define the course of history. Whether we are witnessing the dawn of a new era in human exploration or facing a threat we cannot yet comprehend, we must confront this challenge with open minds, steady hearts, and a collective spirit. The discovery of life beyond Earth is not just a scientific or technological milestone. It is a profound philosophical and existential event. The knowledge that we are no longer alone in the universe challenges the very foundations of how we view life, intelligence, and the future of humanity.
In the past, humanity has always looked to the stars with a sense of awe, curiosity, and sometimes fear. But now, that curiosity is being answered with the stark reality that life beyond Earth exists, and it is coming toward us. This new understanding forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. We are not the only sentient beings in the cosmos, and the life that exists elsewhere may be completely different from anything we can imagine. The question now becomes, how do we handle this discovery? How do we prepare not just for the potential of first contact, but for the profound implications that come with it? The answers to these questions will define our actions over the coming weeks, months, and possibly years. One of the most immediate concerns is the safety and security of Earth. While we have no reason to believe that 3IATLAS or its inhabitants pose a direct threat to our planet, we cannot ignore the fact that we are dealing with an unknown entity that may have capabilities far beyond our own. Our military and defense systems must be ready, not necessarily to engage in conflict, but to ensure that we have the means to protect ourselves should the need arise. The unknown nature of this event calls for a preparedness that is both cautious and proactive. At the same time, we must remain committed to peaceful exploration and communication. If the life forms inside 3IATLAS are indeed intelligent, the potential for collaboration and knowledge exchange is unparalleled. Their technology, their understanding of the universe, and their approach to solving problems could offer us insights that could radically alter our way of life. But this potential for collaboration is only possible if we approach the situation with respect, curiosity, and humility. If we approach 3IATLAS with hostility or fear, we may close the door on a historic opportunity for growth and enlightenment. The role of scientists, diplomats, and leaders will be more critical than ever before. Science will continue to lead the way in understanding the biological, chemical, and physical signatures detected by the James Webb Space Telescope. But it is diplomacy that will determine how we interact with the life inside 3IATLAS. It is up to the leaders of the world to set the tone for how humanity responds, not just as individuals or nations, but as a global community. It is also important to consider the broader cultural and psychological impact of this discovery. Humanity has always been shaped by the stories we tell ourselves about our place in the universe. For centuries, we have wondered whether we are alone, whether there are other civilizations out there. Now, that question has been answered, and the reality of life beyond Earth is something that we must learn to process on a collective scale.
People across the world will be grappling with this new reality in their own ways, and it is crucial that we foster an environment of open discussion, understanding, and support. Education will play a vital role in this process. As we learn more about 3IATLAS and its potential significance, it will be essential to share that knowledge with the public in a clear, accessible way. There will undoubtedly be fear and uncertainty in the face of the unknown, but knowledge is the antidote to fear. The more we learn about what is happening, the more we will understand, and the better prepared we will be to face whatever comes next. As we enter this new phase of human history, we must also keep in mind the ethical considerations that come with encountering alien life. If we are dealing with an intelligent species, what rights do they have? If they are not like us, if their biology or consciousness is radically different, how do we respect their autonomy? These are questions that humanity will need to grapple with, just as we have grappled with questions of rights, dignity, and respect for other life forms here on Earth. As we approach 3IATLAS, we must do so with a sense of responsibility, not just for ourselves, but for the other life forms that may be involved. In the end, this is not just a moment of scientific discovery, it is a moment of existential reflection. The discovery of life beyond Earth forces us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about our place in the cosmos. It challenges us to think beyond the confines of our own planet, to imagine what lies beyond the stars, and to prepare for a future where humanity is part of a much larger, interconnected universe. We have no idea what the future holds, but we know this. The universe is far more complex and mysterious than we ever imagined, and we are just beginning to understand the scope of what is out there. As we watch 3IATLAS approach, we must do so with open eyes, open minds, and a sense of shared responsibility. What happens in the next 47 days could change the course of history, and it is up to all of us to face the unknown with courage, wisdom, and a commitment to the survival and flourishing of humanity. As we continue to monitor 3IATLAS, the next critical phase of this event will unfold with the passing of the 47 days. We will likely face new discoveries, additional data, and perhaps even surprises that we have not yet anticipated. With each passing day, the stakes grow higher, and humanity's ability to respond will be tested. The implications of what we are witnessing and what may come next extend beyond the realm of science and touch every aspect of our existence, from our sense of self to the way we relate to the rest of the universe. The coming weeks will require the best of our collective abilities. Scientists, space agencies, governments, and even everyday citizens will play their parts in ensuring that we are ready for what lies ahead.
In the scientific community, we must continue to refine our understanding of 3IATLAS, its composition, and its potential. The discoveries made by the James Webb Space Telescope are just the beginning. Each new piece of data will bring us closer to understanding the nature of this celestial body, its life forms, and the potential for contact. The space telescopes, observatories, and instruments at our disposal must be used with precision, ensuring that no critical information slips through the cracks. Simultaneously, we must focus on the human element of this event. As the world watches, the responsibility to remain calm, rational, and informed will rest with us all. Leaders in science, politics, and communication must work together to ensure that the public is kept informed and that we are all prepared for what might happen. This is not a moment for sensationalism or fear-mongering, but for transparency and rational dialogue. Humanity has never faced a challenge of this magnitude, but we must face it with the strength of unity, grounded in the understanding that we are all in this together. Beyond scientific and governmental cooperation, there is a need for global solidarity.
If 3IATLAS indeed contains life, intelligent or otherwise, we must find a way to approach this discovery not just as individual nations or cultures, but as one species. The future of humanity is at stake, and how we respond will shape the legacy of our generation. The potential for collaboration with alien life forms, should such a thing be possible, could open up unprecedented possibilities for scientific and technological advancement. But those possibilities can only be realized if we come together as a global community, transcending political and cultural divides to create a unified approach to this unprecedented event. Moreover, we must begin to ask ourselves the deeper questions this discovery raises. What does it mean to be human in a universe where we are no longer alone? How do we redefine our relationship to the stars, to the cosmos, and to the other forms of life that may inhabit it? This discovery compels us to consider our place in a much larger, more complex reality. It challenges us to think about our role in the universe and how we will live in harmony with whatever life forms we encounter, whether they are vastly different from us or share some fundamental commonality. It is also a moment to reflect on the lessons we have learned from our own history. Just as we have encountered new lands, cultures, and civilizations on Earth, we must now extend that experience to the cosmos. Our history is full of instances where encounters between different peoples have led to both collaboration and conflict. The way we handle our encounter with extraterrestrial life will define whether we repeat the mistakes of the past or rise to a higher understanding. We must approach this with a sense of empathy, wisdom, and respect for the unknown.
In the coming weeks, we may also face the reality of being observed by entities from another world. If the life forms inside 3IATLAS are indeed aware of our presence, they are likely watching our reactions and preparing to engage with us, if not physically, then through their own form of communication. This raises another critical question. How will they perceive us? Will they see us as an advanced civilization worthy of cooperation, or will they regard us as a primitive species, still struggling to understand the cosmos? Their perspective may be radically different from our own, shaped by experiences and evolutionary processes that we can barely begin to comprehend. This is why our response must be both measured and thoughtful. We must be prepared for the possibility that they are watching, learning about us as we learn about them. What they see in us, the way we handle this situation, will likely influence their decisions and actions. Do we present ourselves as rational, peaceful, and cooperative, or do we act out of fear and distrust? The way we behave in these coming days will have a profound impact on the future of humanity's relationship with other life forms in the universe. Finally, it is important to acknowledge the emotional and psychological impact that the discovery of life beyond Earth will have on people worldwide. Many will feel awe and wonder at the prospect of meeting other forms of life, while others may feel fear or uncertainty about what the future holds. There is no right or wrong way to feel about this discovery. It is a deeply personal experience for each individual, but it is essential that we acknowledge the significance of this moment in human history. It is a time to reflect on who we are, where we come from, and where we are headed as a species. As we continue to wait for 3IATLAS to approach, we must prepare ourselves not just for the scientific and technological challenges ahead, but for the deeper existential questions that this event will force us to confront. The universe is vast, and the possibilities for what lies ahead are beyond our comprehension. But one thing is certain: humanity has the opportunity to rise to this challenge, to meet it with wisdom, courage, and unity. As we move forward, it is crucial to recognize that this discovery, while extraordinary, is only the beginning of what could be a series of profound changes for humanity. As 3IATLAS draws closer, the conversations and decisions we make now will echo for generations. This moment is not simply an event for scientists to study, but a turning point for the entire human race. How we manage the next steps
will define the future of our species and our place in the vast expanse of the universe. One of the most immediate and pressing challenges we face is ensuring that humanity responds with a collective mindset rather than fragmented reactions driven by national interests or individual fears.
The world is watching this unprecedented event unfold, and we must ensure that our response is not just a series of isolated actions, but a unified effort. No matter where we are on this planet, the discovery of extraterrestrial life affects all of us. It is a shared moment in human history that will either bring us together or risk division at a time when unity is crucial. To that end, the importance of international collaboration cannot be overstated. The United Nations, space agencies, scientific organizations, and governments must come together to share information, strategize on how to engage with this new reality, and ensure that decisions are made for the benefit of all humankind. In times of crisis and challenge, cooperation is our greatest strength. If we are to successfully navigate this new chapter of human history, we must work together in ways we never have before. Moreover, the role of transparency in this process is essential. The public has a right to know what is happening, what is being discovered, and what potential consequences may arise. Secrecy, while sometimes necessary for security, cannot be the foundation of our response to this situation. Humanity has long awaited the discovery of extraterrestrial life, and now that it is upon us, the need for open communication and shared understanding is paramount. We must allow the global community to process this discovery together, to discuss and debate the implications, and to collectively prepare for what may come. This also presents an opportunity to reframe how we view ourselves in relation to the cosmos. The idea that we are the only intelligent life in the universe has been deeply ingrained in human culture and philosophy for centuries. But with the discovery of life beyond Earth, that worldview will inevitably shift. This realization will likely provoke deep philosophical reflection as people around the world question the nature of existence, the possibility of other intelligent beings, and the very meaning of life itself. As we prepare for the potential first contact, we must also consider how this discovery will impact various aspects of human life. What will it mean for our cultural identity? How will our beliefs, religions, and philosophies evolve in light of this new reality? Will this discovery unite us as a species, or will it force us to confront the divisions that have long existed between us? These are the questions that will arise as we begin to process the magnitude of what is happening. One of the most profound aspects of this discovery is that it forces us to confront our own humanity. If we are able to communicate with or understand the life within 3IATLAS, we will need to grapple with the realization that we are not the only intelligent beings in the universe. We will have to redefine what it means to be human, to question our assumptions about our uniqueness, and to learn from the vast diversity of life that may exist beyond our planet.
This is an opportunity for growth, not just in terms of scientific knowledge, but in our understanding of ourselves and our place in the grander scheme of existence. In a sense, the approach of 3IATLAS is a mirror, reflecting back at us our own potential, our ability to explore, to understand, and to make contact with the unknown. It is a challenge, but it is also an invitation to rise above our limitations and reach for something greater. The universe, vast and mysterious as it is, holds the possibility of infinite discoveries, and we have the privilege and the responsibility to engage with that potential in a way that reflects the best of who we are as a species. But it's not just the physical and technological aspects of this discovery that we must focus on. The arrival of 3IATLAS challenges our values, our ethics, and our vision for the future. If the life forms inside 3IATLAS are indeed conscious and capable of understanding, we must ask ourselves how we treat them. How do we extend the principles of respect, empathy,
and cooperation to life forms that may be radically different from us? How do we ensure that we are not merely looking to exploit or conquer, but rather to understand and coexist? There is a deep moral responsibility that comes with the discovery of extraterrestrial life, and how we navigate that responsibility will shape the future of our civilization. We must be mindful not to fall into the trap of assuming superiority simply because we are familiar with Earth's life forms. This is a moment to practice humility, to recognize that there is much more to life and intelligence than what we know, and that the universe is full of wonders that we have yet to comprehend. Ultimately, how we respond to 3IATLAS and to the life within it will define the legacy of this moment. It will determine whether humanity becomes a species that has the wisdom and maturity to handle the unknown with grace, or one that is overwhelmed by fear, suspicion, and conflict. This is a time for us to come together, to learn, and to grow as individuals and as a collective. The choices we make will echo across time, impacting generations to come. As the days count down to the closest approach of 3IATLAS, the anticipation across the world will continue to build. This unprecedented event is not just a moment of scientific achievement. It is a defining chapter in the story of humanity.
How we choose to face this moment will shape the trajectory of our future, not just as individuals or nations, but as a species. This discovery holds the potential to unite us in ways that have never been possible before, but only if we are willing to set aside our differences and approach it with a collective sense of purpose. In the coming weeks, the eyes of the world will be fixed on 3IATLAS. People from every corner of the globe will be watching and waiting, hoping for answers, hoping for a glimpse into a reality beyond our understanding. As we prepare for the possibility of first contact, we must ensure that we are not only equipped with the necessary scientific tools to understand this encounter, but also prepared with the wisdom and compassion to respond in a way that reflects the best of humanity. As the situation unfolds, we must remain flexible, knowing that the unknown can take many forms. While the discovery of life beyond Earth is exhilarating, it also comes with uncertainties that we cannot yet predict. The first challenge will be to decode the messages or signals, if any, that come from 3IATLAS. If the life forms inside are capable of communication, we must be prepared to interpret their intentions, their way of thinking, and their capacity for engagement. This could require not only scientific expertise, but also new frameworks of understanding, ones that allow us to communicate across the vast divide between two vastly different forms of existence. This is where the true potential of this moment lies, not just in the scientific data, but in the opportunity to redefine what it means to be human. We are on the verge of entering a new chapter of human history, one in which our species is no longer the sole representative of intelligence in the universe. This realization brings both a sense of awe and humility. We are no longer the center of existence. Rather, we are part of a much larger cosmic narrative. The knowledge that we share the universe with other intelligent beings challenges our fundamental assumptions about life, our purpose, and our place in the cosmos. One of the most profound questions that arises is whether we, as humans, are ready for the implications of contact with extraterrestrial life. It is easy to assume that humanity is prepared for this moment, but the truth is that we are uncharted territory for this kind of encounter. The existential questions we will face go beyond the scientific. What does it mean to coexist with another intelligent species? How do we ensure that our encounter leads to mutual growth and not conflict? These are questions that will require careful thought, empathy, and open-mindedness. If we come into contact with an intelligent species, how do we ensure that we approach them with respect, fairness, and consideration?
How do we avoid repeating the mistakes of the past when humans have encountered other cultures and life forms in ways that have been exploitative, violent, or dismissive? This is an opportunity for humanity to prove that we are capable of doing better, of building relationships based on understanding and cooperation rather than dominance and fear. We must also remain aware of the psychological impact this discovery will have on individuals and societies worldwide. For many, the knowledge that we are not alone will be a source of wonder and inspiration, sparking new ideas, philosophies, and aspirations. But for others, it may be overwhelming, frightening, or unsettling. The discovery of alien life forces us to confront our own vulnerability and to recognize that the universe is far larger and more complex than we could have ever imagined. We must be prepared to offer support and reassurance to those who may struggle with the enormity of this revelation. As the world continues to await the arrival of 3IATLAS, we must also keep in mind that this is not the end of our journey, but merely the beginning. The knowledge we gain from this encounter will lay the foundation for future exploration, collaboration, and discovery. What we learn from 3IATLAS and its inhabitants, if they are indeed living beings, could help us unlock new mysteries of the universe, revolutionize our understanding of biology, physics, and technology, and perhaps even reshape our understanding of life itself. This moment is not just about encountering an alien object in our solar system. It is about opening the door to a new era for humanity. The discoveries we make in the coming days and weeks could lead to scientific breakthroughs, technological advancements, and philosophical revelations that will have ripple effects across generations. It is a time of limitless potential, and yet it is also a time of profound responsibility. We are not simply passive observers of this event. We are active participants in its unfolding. The way we respond to 3IATLAS, the way we engage with whatever life forms it may contain, will set the course for future generations. If we handle this moment with wisdom, compassion, and unity, we will show that humanity is capable of rising to the occasion, of confronting the unknown with courage, and of embracing the vast potential that lies ahead. The universe has presented us with an opportunity that is as daunting as it is awe-inspiring. What happens next will determine whether humanity is able to meet this moment with grace, wisdom, and a sense of purpose. We are standing at the threshold of a new chapter in the story of our species, and it is up to each of us to ensure that we rise to the challenge with resolve, unity, and a vision for a better future.
As we prepare for the final approach of 3IATLAS, it is critical to keep in mind that this is a moment unlike any other in human history. The possibilities are endless, but so too are the uncertainties. As we look toward this moment, the way we react will not only shape our immediate future, but will echo across time, affecting not only the next generation, but countless generations to come. In the face of the unknown, it is human nature to seek clarity, to understand, to categorize, and to control. But we must remember that this moment requires more than our knowledge and intellect. It demands our humility. It demands that we approach the situation not as conquerors, but as explorers, with open minds, ready to learn, to adapt, and to grow. The truth is, we may not be ready for everything that 3IATLAS brings. The life within it, if it is indeed alive, may operate on principles entirely foreign to us. Its biology, its intelligence, and its technology could be so advanced that we have no frame of reference to understand it. This is why our greatest strength in the coming days will be our ability to listen, to truly engage with whatever we encounter, and to remain open to learning from it, rather than imposing our own assumptions or beliefs onto it. If 3IATLAS contains intelligent life, we will face a monumental task in establishing communication.
Language, after all, is not merely a matter of words. It is a reflection of thought, culture, and perception. The life forms inside 3IATLAS may have ways of communicating that are unlike anything we have ever known. Their perception of time, space, or even life itself may be radically different from our own. As we embark on this new chapter of human history, we must prepare for a profound shift in our understanding of the universe. We are no longer solitary beings on a small blue planet orbiting an unremarkable star. We are part of a much larger cosmos, one that holds infinite mysteries and possibilities. The discovery of life beyond Earth is not just a scientific achievement, it is a cosmic awakening. It is the realization that the universe is alive in ways we never imagined, filled with life forms and intelligence that may be entirely different from our own. This discovery also challenges us to think differently about what it means to be alive, to be intelligent, and to be part of something larger than ourselves. In a universe where we are no longer the only sentient species, our sense of self will inevitably change. The way we see other life forms, whether biological or technological, will be transformed. We will have to learn to appreciate the diversity of life in the cosmos, to see life not just as we understand it, but as it might exist in forms we have yet to conceive.
The challenges we face in the coming weeks are not just about science or technology. They are about our humanity. How we react to the discovery of life beyond Earth will define who we are as a species, what we value, and how we navigate the future. As we continue to observe 3IATLAS, it is important to remember that this is not just a moment for scientists, governments, or space agencies. This is a moment for all of humanity. Each one of us, regardless of nationality, culture, or background, is a part of this historic event. The decisions we make, the way we communicate, and the values we uphold will shape the future of our world and potentially the future of interstellar relations. We must also consider the possibility that, just as we are a part of a much larger cosmic community, 3IATLAS may be a part of something far beyond our understanding. It may be one small piece of a greater cosmic order, one that operates on principles and scales we cannot yet comprehend. Whether it is a solitary traveler or part of a larger network of life forms, its existence challenges us to reconsider our place in the universe. As we continue to observe 3IATLAS, it is important to remember that this is not just a moment for scientists, governments, or space agencies. This is a moment for all of humanity. Each one of us, regardless of nationality, culture, or background, is a part of this historic event. The decisions we make, the way we communicate, and the values we uphold will shape the future of our world, and potentially the future of interstellar relations. We must also consider the possibility that, just as we are a part of a much larger cosmic community, 3IATLAS may be a part of something far beyond our understanding. It may be one small piece of a greater cosmic order, one that operates on principles and scales we cannot yet comprehend. Whether it is a solitary traveler or part of a larger network of life forms, its existence challenges us to reconsider our place in the universe. As we stand on the brink of first contact, we must keep in mind that the universe is vast and we are but a small part of it. But our capacity to understand, to explore, and to connect is limitless. The future is ours to shape, and the choices we make in these coming days will echo across time. How we handle this discovery, how we engage with life beyond Earth, will define the legacy of our species. In the end, this moment is not just about encountering alien life. It is about the evolution of humanity itself. It is about how we choose to respond to the greatest discovery in the history of our species.
Will we rise to the challenge? Will we face the unknown with courage, wisdom, and hope? The choice is ours, and how we choose to respond will determine the future of humanity in a universe that is far larger and more mysterious than we ever imagined. As we continue to witness the unfolding of this historic event, we must remember that the discovery of life beyond Earth is not just a scientific phenomenon, it is a turning point for humanity, a moment that will challenge the very core of who we are. For centuries, humanity has sought to answer the fundamental question, are we alone in the universe? Now we know that the answer is no.
This revelation demands that we reassess our understanding of life, intelligence, and our role in the cosmos. The next few weeks are critical, not just for the scientific community, but for all of humanity. As 3IATLAS approaches, it will bring us face to face with the reality that we are part of a much larger universe, one that is teeming with life and potential beyond anything we have ever imagined. And this is only the beginning. This discovery marks the start of an entirely new chapter in human history, one where we will be forced to confront questions that challenge our assumptions about ourselves, our planet, and the broader universe. How we respond to this moment will shape the future of our species. Will we approach this discovery with openness, curiosity, and a desire for peaceful cooperation? Or will we react with fear, suspicion, and a desire to control or dominate what we don't understand? The way we choose to interact with the life inside 3IATLAS, and possibly with other life forms we may encounter in the future, will define our legacy as a species. In the coming days, as we continue to gather data from 3IATLAS, it will be essential to maintain a sense of calm and reason. While it is natural to feel a sense of awe and wonder at the discovery of extraterrestrial life, we must also approach it with caution and responsibility. The unknown is always fraught with uncertainty, and while the potential for collaboration and knowledge exchange is immense, we must also remain aware of the risks. The question of whether these life forms are capable of communication or whether their intentions are benign remains unanswered. Until we know more, it is imperative that we proceed with care. At the same time, we must begin to consider the broader implications of this discovery. If life exists beyond Earth, what does that mean for our understanding of the universe? What does it mean for our beliefs about the origins of life, the nature of intelligence, and the potential for life to exist in other forms or environments? This discovery forces us to confront the possibility that the universe is far more complex and interconnected than we have ever realized. And with that realization comes a profound responsibility to respect and understand the diversity of life that may exist out there, and to approach it with the humility that comes with knowing how little we truly understand. The knowledge that we are not alone also brings with it an opportunity to broaden our horizons. As a species, we have spent millennia looking up at the stars, wondering if there were others like us. Now we have the chance to engage with those other forms of life, to learn from them, and perhaps to form a cosmic community that transcends the boundaries of our planet. This is an opportunity for humanity to grow in ways we have never before imagined.
But it is also a challenge, one that will require us to rethink our place in the universe and our relationship with the life forms that inhabit it. The potential for technological, scientific, and philosophical advancements is staggering. The knowledge that could be exchanged between Earth and any extraterrestrial civilization is beyond our comprehension. New breakthroughs in energy, medicine, space exploration, and many other fields could revolutionize life on Earth as we know it. But these advancements must be pursued with caution and wisdom. Just as we must protect our own world and ensure that we do not exploit or harm the life that exists here, we must also approach any new discoveries from other worlds with the same care and respect. This is not a time for rash decisions or reckless actions.
It is a time for reflection, for collaboration, and for thoughtful preparation. We must continue to observe, learn, and understand while at the same time preparing for every possible outcome. As the approach of 3IATLAS draws nearer, the scientific community must work tirelessly to analyze the data, refine our understanding, and prepare for the potential challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. The world's leaders, policymakers, and experts in every field must work together to ensure that we are ready for whatever comes next. In addition to the scientific and political challenges, we must also be prepared for the psychological and emotional impact of this discovery. The knowledge that we are not alone in the universe will affect every person on Earth in different ways. For some, it will be a source of wonder and excitement. For others, it may bring fear, uncertainty, or existential anxiety. It is crucial that we provide the public with clear, honest, and accessible information about what is happening, and that we offer support to those who may be struggling to process this revelation. The discovery of extraterrestrial life is not just a scientific breakthrough. It is a deep, existential shift that will require careful thought and sensitive handling. As we look to the future, we must remember that this discovery does not mark the end of the journey. It marks the beginning. The path ahead will be filled with challenges, but also with extraordinary possibilities. Humanity stands at a crossroads, and the choices we make now will shape the direction we take as a species. Will we rise to the occasion, meet the unknown with courage and humility, and embrace the potential of this new chapter? Or will we allow fear, division, and uncertainty to dictate our path? The answer to that question is up to us. The universe has opened a door, and it is now our responsibility to walk through it with grace, wisdom, and a sense of collective purpose.
As the day of 3IATLAS's closest approach draws nearer, the sense of anticipation and urgency will only grow. Every passing hour brings us closer to understanding what this unprecedented event means for humanity. The decisions we make in these critical moments will not just define our future interactions with the cosmos, but will also determine the legacy of our generation. In the coming days, the most crucial aspect of our response will be our capacity for flexibility. While we have prepared in various ways, scientifically, diplomatically, and strategically, none of us can predict exactly what will transpire. The unknown nature of the life forms inside 3IATLAS means that we cannot be fully prepared for every scenario. Yet, what we can do is remain adaptable, ready to change course based on the information we receive. This adaptability will be key in ensuring that we are able to respond to any developments in the most effective and responsible manner possible. One of the challenges we face is understanding what happens when different civilizations, ours and theirs, meet. It is essential that we approach the encounter with open minds, ready to learn, but also with the wisdom to recognize the limits of our knowledge. The life forms within 3IATLAS may have evolved under conditions completely alien to our own, and their form of intelligence, biology, and technology could be vastly different from anything we have encountered on Earth. This encounter represents not only a scientific breakthrough, but also a cultural and philosophical challenge that will require us to rethink our assumptions about life, consciousness, and intelligence. As we wait, we must also take the time to reflect on what it means to be human in a universe so much larger than we ever imagined. The knowledge that we are not the only intelligent life forms in the universe will undoubtedly have a profound impact on humanity's collective identity. No longer can we see ourselves as the central focus of the cosmos. This realization is humbling, but it also provides an opportunity to broaden our perspective. Our understanding of life's possibilities has expanded, and with it, the potential for collaboration, learning, and growth.
At the same time, we must acknowledge the potential dangers of this moment. The unknown is always a source of fear, and encountering extraterrestrial life forms, especially if they are more advanced than we are, poses risks we cannot fully understand. However, it is essential that we approach this situation not with fear, but with curiosity and caution. We have faced unknowns throughout history, whether in the exploration of new lands, the development of new technologies, or the discovery of new species, and each time we have risen to the challenge. Now is no different. We must approach this encounter with the same resolve, wisdom, and cooperative spirit that has defined humanity's greatest achievements.
We must also consider the long-term implications of our actions. How we respond to 3IATLAS will not just affect our present moment, it will affect our future and the future of the generations that come after us. The decisions we make today will shape humanity's role in the greater cosmic community. Will we approach other life forms as equals, ready to share knowledge and learn from each other? Or will we let fear and mistrust define our actions, potentially closing the door to a future of mutual discovery and understanding? The presence of 3IATLAS and its potential inhabitants forces us to confront the reality that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. We are part of a universe that is alive with possibilities, filled with life forms, technologies, and civilizations that we have yet to understand. This moment is not just an event to be observed, it is an invitation for humanity to step beyond the boundaries of our small world and take our place in the broader cosmic community. In the coming weeks, as we continue to monitor the progress of 3IATLAS, we must keep in mind the profound responsibility we carry. The world will be watching, and the actions we take will be scrutinized not just by our peers, but by the universe itself. How we handle this discovery will shape our future, not just in terms of our relationship with extraterrestrial life, but in how we relate to each other here on Earth. This moment calls for unity, for collaboration, and for a shared commitment to the greater good of all humanity. In the end, what happens over the next few weeks is not just about the science, the data, or the technology. It's about humanity's ability to come together in the face of the unknown and rise to the occasion. We must remember that no matter the outcome, this moment will be defined by how we choose to respond. Will we let fear dictate our actions, or will we rise to this challenge with courage, curiosity, and a sense of collective purpose? The universe has shown us that we are not alone. Now it is up to us to determine what that means for our future. Will we embrace the unknown and take our place in the larger cosmic community? Or will we remain isolated, afraid of what lies beyond the stars? The choice is ours, and it is one that will shape the course of humanity for generations to come. As we move closer to the pivotal moment when 3IATLAS reaches its nearest point to Earth, we must also consider the potential for long-term engagement. The arrival of this object in our solar system marks not only the first encounter with extraterrestrial life, but also the beginning of what could be an ongoing relationship with civilizations beyond our world. Whether or not we directly interact with the beings inside 3IATLAS, the fact that we have established contact, albeit through data and observation, means that humanity has entered a new era.
For centuries, humans have pondered the vastness of space, wondering if we are alone. Now we know that we are not. The implications of this discovery will ripple through every aspect of our society, from science and technology to culture and philosophy. It is not just the discovery of alien life that will change us, but the questions that it raises about life, intelligence, and the nature of existence itself.
One of the most profound shifts this discovery brings is the realization that our understanding of life is no longer confined to the biology we know on Earth. Life may exist in forms we cannot yet comprehend. It may not conform to our assumptions about what is necessary for life, whether that's water, carbon-based chemistry, or our specific conditions for survival. 3IATLAS is proof that life, if it exists, could operate in completely unknown ways, governed by principles far beyond our current understanding of biology and physics. This challenges everything we know about what it means to be alive. As we grapple with this new reality, we must also look ahead to the broader implications for the future of humanity. We are now on the threshold of becoming an interstellar species, connected not just by our planet, but by the vast expanse of space. The discovery of extraterrestrial life offers humanity the opportunity to evolve in ways that we have only dreamed about. This is not simply about communicating with other species or learning from them. It's about expanding our understanding of the universe, questioning our place in it, and recognizing the infinite possibilities that await us. The next steps are critical. How we respond to the information we have gathered will dictate our future. While scientific curiosity will continue to drive our exploration of 3IATLAS, we must also take the time to reflect on the larger questions that this discovery raises. How will we, as a species, interact with life forms from beyond our planet? What ethical guidelines should we establish to govern our interactions with other life forms, whether biological or technological? How will we protect ourselves, our planet, and our civilization while also opening ourselves up to the potential for cooperation, discovery, and growth? The need for global cooperation in this moment cannot be overstated. No single nation can navigate this challenge alone. Just as we have come together to face global challenges such as climate change, pandemics, and conflict, so too must we come together to respond to the arrival of 3IATLAS. Our shared humanity must be the foundation for a united response to this cosmic event. This is a moment for collaboration, not division, for shared knowledge, not secrecy. It is a moment to show the world that we are capable of handling the unknown with wisdom, grace, and courage. In the coming days, there will be moments of uncertainty and moments of excitement.
There will be questions that we cannot answer, but there will also be opportunities to learn and grow in ways we never thought possible. We'll be forced to confront our own fears and limitations, but we will also be presented with the chance to explore the unknown, to push the boundaries of human knowledge, and to redefine what it means to be human in the process. As we continue to observe 3IATLAS and prepare for what lies ahead, it is important to remember that this is not just a moment for science, it is a moment for humanity as a whole. We stand on the brink of something extraordinary, something that will shape the future of our species and our place in the universe. How we choose to face this challenge will define us for centuries to come. Will we approach the unknown with fear, or with the courage and curiosity that has driven human progress for millennia? The choice is ours. In the end, this discovery is not just about extraterrestrial life. It is about us, about how we as humans respond to the vast unknown. It is a test of our humanity, our ability to work together, and our commitment to ensuring that the future of humanity is one of growth, unity, and discovery. As we move forward, let us do so with hope, with resolve, and with the knowledge that the universe is full of infinite possibilities, waiting for us to explore, understand, and ultimately embrace. As we stand at the precipice of this unprecedented moment in human history, the coming days will be critical not just for what we learn from 3IATLAS, but for how we choose to shape the future. The arrival of this object and the potential discovery of life within it are just the beginning of a journey that could span generations. It's a journey into the unknown, but also one that holds the potential to unlock the deepest mysteries of the universe and fundamentally alter our understanding of life
intelligence, and existence. In the midst of this, there is a profound realization: humanity is not defined solely by its past, but by how it responds to the challenges of the present and the future. The way we handle the next steps in our encounter with 3IATLAS will be a defining moment in our species' evolution. We have the opportunity to rise above fear and uncertainty and embrace the unknown with open minds, hearts, and a collective will to discover and understand. As 3IATLAS draws nearer, our actions must be guided not just by the desire for knowledge, but the responsibility that comes with it. This is an opportunity to engage with a cosmic community, one that may offer new wisdom, new perspectives, and new challenges that will help us grow. But it is also a responsibility to ensure that our approach to this discovery is ethical, compassionate, and reflective of the highest ideals humanity has to offer. We must be prepared for the possibility that whatever lies within 3IATLAS may challenge everything we think we know.
The life forms inside may possess technologies, capabilities, and forms of intelligence that are beyond our comprehension. They may have evolved under conditions so different from our own that we cannot immediately recognize their biology, their culture, or their values. And yet, in that vast difference, there may lie the very knowledge we need to propel humanity into a new era of scientific discovery, philosophical exploration, and social cooperation. However, we must approach this encounter with humility. The universe, vast and mysterious as it is, has shown us that we are not the center of all existence. This is not just a discovery for scientists, it is a discovery for all of humanity. It is a reminder that our place in the cosmos is just one small part of a much larger tapestry. And as we face this new reality, we must be ready to rethink our assumptions, our values, and our place in the broader universe. The implications of first contact, or even just the discovery of extraterrestrial life, are enormous. They will ripple across every field of human endeavor, from philosophy to technology, from religion to politics. The questions this discovery raises are profound. What is the purpose of life in the universe? What responsibilities do we have to other forms of life? How do we ensure that humanity acts with integrity and respect as we encounter other life forms, especially those that may be more advanced than we are? As we move forward, we must also be mindful of the psychological and emotional effects this discovery will have on people around the world. The realization that we are not alone in the universe will spark a range of reactions: wonder, fear, excitement, and even existential crisis. It is important that we as a species respond with empathy and compassion. We must be prepared to offer support to those who may struggle with the enormity of this revelation, and to create a space for thoughtful reflection and dialogue about the future. At the same time, we must remember that the journey ahead will not be simple. First contact, or even just the observation of extraterrestrial life, is not something that will be easily understood or immediately embraced by all. It is a process of discovery, not only about what exists in the universe, but about ourselves as a species. It will force us to confront our limitations, our fears, and our ambitions. But it is through this process that we will grow and evolve, both as individuals and as a collective. In the coming weeks and months, we will continue to monitor 3IATLAS and collect more data. The arrival of this object is only the beginning of what will likely be years, if not decades, of study and engagement. We will learn more about its contents, its structure, and the life forms it may contain. And with each new discovery, we will be presented with new questions, new opportunities, and new challenges. This is a time for humanity to reflect on its past, embrace its present, and look boldly into its future. We must approach this discovery not with fear or uncertainty, but with curiosity, respect, and a deep sense of responsibility. The cosmos is vast, and the possibilities are limitless. Now we must decide what kind of future we want to create, not just for ourselves, but for all the life forms that may one day share this universe with us. The next few weeks will reveal much about the life within 3IATLAS and about ourselves. But what happens in the aftermath of this discovery will determine the course of humanity's future. The world will be watching, and we must rise to meet the challenge. We must choose to face the unknown with courage, to ask the hard questions, and to take bold steps toward understanding. For in this moment, humanity stands at the threshold of something extraordinary, something that will change us forever.